The pollution level in India's 5 most polluted cities, Ghaziabad, Delhi, Noida, Greater Noida, and Gurgaon. Read more. New Delhi, the COVID-19 pandemic battered and bruised the world in 2020, teaching the value of human life, while schools, workplaces, transport and industry remained closed for a large part of the year as people stayed put in their houses. The grey skies started turning blue and pollutants in the air began to settle. According to the Central Pollution Control Board, there was a significant improvement in air quality during lockdown, from March 22 to May 18, as PM2.5 in Delhi reduced by almost 50% as compared to levels observed during 2019. The pollution level in India's 5 most polluted cities, Ghaziabad, Delhi, Noida, Greater Noida and Gurgaon, which are also in the top 10 globally, came down by over 50%. Besides the air quality, there was improvement in water quality of 7 rivers, Yamuna, Brahmani, Godavari, Govari, Krishna, Tapi and Brahmaputra, swinging into action after a tiger at a U.S. zoo tested positive for COVID-19. The Environment Ministry had asked all states and union territories to restrict the movement of people in various national parks and sanctuaries to avoid any human-animal contact. However, as per a study conducted by Wildlife Trade Monitoring Network Traffic, incidents of wildlife poaching in India more than doubled during the COVID-19 lockdown, with 88 animals being killed for meat and trade during this time compared to 35 in the pre-lockdown days. The brutal killing of a pregnant elephant in Kerala, after she was fed firecrackers-filled pineapple, took social media by the storm, prompting the government to investigate the matter. The fear of the pandemic also led people to believe at one point that migratory birds were spreading the disease. However, the government busted the myth, saying that fear psychosis was being created by people and that there was no connection of coronavirus with migratory. The year gone by also saw India taking the presidency of the 13th Conference of Parties to the Convention on the Conservation of Migratory Species of Wild Animals. During the conference, the countries adopted an accord, the Gandhinagar Declaration, that maintaining and restoring ecological connectivity is one of the top priorities for CMS. The conference saw participation from over 100 countries except China, as it opted out of it due to travel restrictions in the wake of coronavirus outbreak, which began from a single case in its city of Wuhan. Fear of the impact of COVID-19 on the world economy also caused the government to worry about achieving the climate goals under the Paris Agreement, making Environment Minister Prakash Javadekar ask people not to get too romantic about the blue skies, fresh air and the green earth. Noting there was a direct link between COVID-19 and Sustainable Development Goal, SDG, of well-being and health, which is a part of the SDGs set in 2015 by the United Nations General Assembly and intended to be achieved by 2030, the minister had said that the economic consequences of the pandemic. However, few months later, the minister announced that India was the only G20 country in compliance with the Paris Agreement targets and that none of the developed nations are compliant. The government remained on its toes in tackling waste generated due to the coronavirus cases in the country, with the central pollution watchdogs. As the cases continued to rise, the CPCB directed all healthcare centers across the country to keep separate color-coded bins or containers in wards and maintain proper segregation of waste as per the Biomedical Waste (BMW) Management Rules 2016 as amended. It said the biomedical waste, if any, generated from quarantine centers or camps should be collected separately in yellow-colored bags and bins. The year 2020 also saw a huge tussle between the center and environmentalists over the amendments to the environment. While some students from universities and institutions across the country sought that the draft EA be put on hold as it was published during the pandemic, and another decision by the center that drew sharp criticism was its grandiose plan to redevelop the Central Vista, which recently got the nod of Expert Appraisal Committee, EAC, bringing it a step closer to getting environmental clearance. Experts contended that the 13 rupees, 450 crore project was government's way of pampering itself without. This report was based on the research conducted by environmental think tanks working closely with the government, the Nature Conservancy and the Center for Study of Science, Technology and Policy, CSTEP. Another report claimed that over 4.5 crore people will be forced to migrate from their homes in India by 2050 due to climate disasters including floods, droughts and cyclones, 3 times more than the present figures. The report, based on a study conducted by international agencies ActionAid International and Climate Action Network South Asia, said that by 2050, over 6 crore people will be displaced in South Asia alone. It said that in 2020, the number of people displaced in India is 1.4 crore. A report by Greenpeace Southeast Asia with inputs from the Center for Research on Energy and Clean Air, CREA, said that the cost of air pollution borne by India from fossil fuels is 5.4% of the country's annual GDP and is estimated at $150 billion annually, the third highest worldwide. The year ended on a proud note for the country with 42 wetlands from India, the highest in South Asia, being added to the list of recognized sites of international importance under the Treaty of Ramsar Convention, which has 170 countries party to it and over 2,000 designated sites recognized UNDE. Please support our channel to grow by pressing subscribe button as well as the bell icon for environment updates. Thank you.